Gotcha.
But anyway, let's just work with it.
Do you want me to use headphones? That sometimes helps.
That would be great. You have headphones?
Yeah, let me grab some.
Okay. So the thing with Google Hangouts is sometimes you can hear your own voice through the other person's computer, and it messes things up. Remember when there were answering machines and you used to leave a message, or people used to hate leaving messages because they hate the sound of their own voice? That process is happening. So anyway, okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great. Can you hear me better now?
Yes. So you're my first little 10-minute interview.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself before we get to these questions.
Gosh, what do you want to know?
I want to know where are you? Where are you from? Where do you live? What
So
part of the
I
world?
am in Alexandria, Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. So I'm having lots of fun with this shutdown madness.
Yeah.
Um, I am currently between jobs. I've been doing nonprofit work before, and now I've had some downtime, so I'm kind of reevaluating kind of what I want to do.
Oh, cool. What did you do in nonprofit, or what are you doing in
Um,
nonprofit?
so I was working in STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and math.
Mm-hmm.
So we were working with the entire pipeline, so getting kids interested in being, engineers and scientists, helping them with scholarship programs, after school programs, and things that went on, curriculum for the school year, summer camps, so all of that. We worked with college students specifically with like tutoring, academic
Mm-hmm.
support, internship, scholarships.
It
And
sounds
then
like important work.
I mean, I love the work. It's good work. But more recently, I guess right now, I've really gotten into this concept of, getting into an ecologically sustainable
Mm.
economic system. And it's kind of my pathway to that was kind of weird. I got into like holistic health
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
just trying to work on my own health and caring about
Right.
my own family. And then
Right.
from there you're like, well, you can't really have health unless you have good food, so then this food system's implicated, and it just basically moves all the way on up until you realize, okay, an ecologically sustainable economy is really the most important thing that we could be focusing on right now. So
Mm. How did you find me?
I probably saw somebody mention you on Facebook and then
Okay.
checked you out and started following you.
Cool.
So anyone that I think is doing really interesting or creative work, I kind of follow them on Facebook, which is a great little feeder for me to
Yeah.
get cool information. But my brother actually is at Wisconsin Madison. He just started a counseling psychology program. So I was
Mm.
curious about what you were doing because I wanted to see if, doing online counseling was something that he maybe would think about in the future. But I mean, it's the first year of a PhD program, so he's not that
Yeah,
far in.
it's I don't know what's happening in schools, but I don't think they could ignore it because it's the way it's going to go. Because
Yeah, I mean, I've
you
seen,
can't deny technology, and
yeah,
what people use.
and I've seen the research, has already come out saying that it's as effective or more effective
Right.
even
Right.
than traditional counseling because it really lowers those barriers, I think, to access.
Right.
Um, so, I was in a PhD program before I dropped out, and it would have been nice to have the option, if I could have done something remotely, something when I was really depressed, it was hard for me to leave the house, but maybe I
Mm.
wouldn't skip an appointment that was online,
Mm.
or, I had a hard time accessing, culturally, not culturally sensitive, but, somebody who felt a little bit more like me, and so the counseling options were really limited, and so I kept going and trying new people, and it was never really satisfactory, so it wasn't something I kept up with.
Yeah. Well, you're my first interview. The point of this thing that I call Real People, Real Stories is I want to know who is in my community or who is
Sure,
following me, and I want to know what they're up to, what they're doing, how they are. And I think this is
absolutely.
a really cool way to do it using technology. And it's kind of like in a shot glass,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a bit of you. So, are you ready for these questions?
sure, fire
These
away.
are these are from Vanity Fair. They're actually my favorite questions. I think they're really good, and I'm gonna fire away. Okay, so what is your idea of perfect happiness?
So that's hard. Like I said, I think that's been changing a lot for me lately, but I think
Mm-hmm.
perfect happiness is really finding balance so that you're not comparing yourself. to what everyone else is doing and just kind of
Hmm.
finding this sense of contentment. Um, and I guess what I've realized as I've gotten older, it's far more about, people and interpersonal relationships than kind of, your individual successes or anything like that. I mean, happiness is really kind of like everything around you just being at peace and at balance.
The word I love is balance.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that. What is your greatest fear?
missing it all, missing the point, missing the big picture. Um, I think when I was working and I was doing nonprofit work, and it was very rewarding work, but it's amazing how much being, single focus or tunnel vision on any one thing can
Hmm.
make you miss so much of the world that's going on around you. And so
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
feel like I've just gotten this huge education just in having time
Hmm.
to not focus on just kind of one thing and just seeing how a lot of things are so interconnected.
Which living person do you admire the most?
So I have a couple. Vandana Shiva, I think, is absolutely amazing and incredible. I love her work. People like uh, Jacques Fresco of the Venus Project is really, just inspirational. David Suzuki is someone I'm really following right now, but a
Mm.
lot of the people that are really leaders in kind of like ecological um, sustainable life and living. And I guess as someone who's kind of newly interested in it, people who've been doing this for a very long time and have not burnt out, haven't given up, you know, um, just the work that they've been doing, is incredible. I think.
Yeah. What is the trait you most deplore in yourself?
Um, maybe almost being too scattered. I'm so fascinated by everything that sometimes it makes it hard to focus on one thing. And so I kind of look at it as a double-edged sword. But I
Mm.
think for me, a lot of times, and you're someone who does therapy, so you probably know more, maybe like an ADHD type brain.
Hmm.
Um, it has its drawbacks and benefits, but I
Yeah.
think that that's the hardest thing for me to harness.
I struggle with that a little bit. It kind of dissolves with age, I think, a little bit.
Maybe to a
Yeah.
certain degree. I feel like maybe it's just gotten different with age because I guess I didn't really become that aware of, maybe that my mind was doing too many things until maybe I was a junior in college.
Mm.
But I think that you can build things in, and that's what I've been trying to, do. Work on organization and discipline in certain things, and just go at it like you would a job.
Right. What do you dislike about your appearance?
So this I think is the weirdest question because I can't even imagine a universe where we should be like picking apart our own appearances.
Yeah.
Um, everyone has things about themselves that they don't like, but I
Hmm.
like me a lot. I mean, I was raised to be a very confident person, and so for all the things I could complain about, I'm really happy with me.
No, that's great.
And that's not to say I'm perfect. I could lose the
Right.
pounds and my hair could do what I want it to do but yeah, I think it says a lot about the way that we allow people to frame conversations, when we have these types of questions of like, okay, pick something about yourself that you don't like and then tell me about that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand that it's an unhealthy question,
yeah.
but I think I could spend 10 minutes alone on that question as far as I would have a list of things that I don't like about myself.
Yeah, and I think everyone does, but
Yeah.
I guess, ultimately giving power to that, I guess, doesn't make a lot of sense. And, not saying it to avoid the question. I really am, I have a wonderful, amazing husband who's, very affirming. And so
Mm.
for anything that I could complain about, um, it would just be wasted energy. I'm happy.
Speaking of your husband, next question is who or what is the greatest love of your life, and would that be him?
That would be him.
Oh, nice.
We have been together for 10 years.
Married?
Uh,
Oh yeah, of course. She said husband.
Well, 3 years married.
Uh-huh.
We got married. We eloped. We eloped. It was just the two
Oh,
of us.
Hmm.
on our seventh anniversary and got married on a beach at sunrise,
Wow.
and it was amazing. And it's kind of funny because neither of us, we weren't religious or anything, and not the type of people that believed in soulmates. And as I've kind of gotten older, I was like, so maybe the soulmate thing could be real because one day I find
Hmm.
myself saying, you know, if we get to do this again, are we going to find each other? So I'm
Hmm.
like, maybe that's what people mean. It's that you have these connections with people and then, maybe they don't go away. I don't know.
Yeah. What talent would you most like to have?
Oh, that's a good question. Not that you didn't give me these questions in advance, but um, it'd be nice to be able to zap people and just kind of make them less selfish. That'd be
Zap
nice.
people? Did you say zap people?
Yeah, yeah, I'd
Okay.
like to zap people and make
And make them
them
less
less
selfish.
selfish.
If you could change, no, let's skip that one. What would you consider your greatest achievement?
Hmm. I don't know if I would say I have one greatest. I think, I look at it this kind of evolving process, but I've been really proud of, when I've challenged myself to try something new or different. So my last position, I was promoted to a directorship, and that was really,
Mm.
a really big sense of accomplishment. I learned to ride a motorcycle, which was not easy for me.
Oh, nice.
So I did that a couple years ago, and that was a really proud moment. Last year, my husband and I became certified scuba divers, so
Mm-hmm.
that was really exciting. So, just kind of this concept of forward progression and
Hmm.
always challenging yourself, trying new things, and not kind of, settling.
Yeah, awesome. What quality do you most like in a man?
Humility,
Oh, okay. What quality do you most like in a woman?
uh, fun.
Fun.
My girlfriends, yeah, well, girls, I want to have fun.
Yeah, that's like the Cyndi Lauper song.
Yeah.
What do you value the most in your friends? Which I guess would be fun, right?
No, keeping
No?
me honest. If
Honest,
we're
okay.
yeah, if we're close friends, your job is to kind of keep me honest and, you know, give me the real,
Yeah. Call you out on
the
your shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because those are the relationships that, are really valuable, are the ones that kind of keep you on that forward progress and not just tell you that everything you're doing is fine.
Right. What is it that you most dislike?
About anything.
Yeah, I guess about the world. Or about yourself, I don't know.
Um, I think nowadays it feels like it's really hard to get to transparency, and that's, I
Mm.
think, really challenging for me sometimes. I mean, even we're
Mm.
talking about a government shutdown, and then, there's this side of the truth and that side of the truth, and then something in between.
Mm.
Um, I think it's really hard for people to function in a world where you can't get at some sort of absolute truth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to be able to have, kind of those real conversations.
Yeah.
We're all just kind of talking and, using somebody else's soundbite and have no idea what we're really talking about.
I also find that a lot of people are talking, no one's listening. You know?
Yep.
And last question, what is your motto?
So I don't know if it's one motto, but kind of this concept that, um, when you think you know everything, or when you know everything, some people know that they know everything. You're constantly walking around trying to prove that you know everything. You're trying to demonstrate it to everybody, and so they recognize you as an authority or some sort of figure. Um, but when you realize that you don't know much about the world, about everything, then every day is an education. Every place is a school. Every person can be a teacher.
Mm.
Um, so that, and I think someone maybe said a little bit more succinctly to say, like, every human is creative, resourceful, and whole.
Mm.
Um, and so just embracing that. That's the ways I try to go about life. Is that
Awesome.
everything has something to teach.
Allie in a shot glass from Virginia. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
You're very welcome.
And I'm going to post this on my platform. You're cool with that, right?
Yes, have fun.
Nice meeting you.
You also.
Thanks for the follow. Bye.
Uh-huh. Bye.